Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree. If you are new here, I'm still in my pajamas. I haven't done my hair yet. I am in excruciating pain, so bear with me if I'm a little bit low energy. I have a heat pack on, hoping that'll help knock this out and then I'll be able to finish getting ready when I'm done doing my makeup. But in today's video, I am doing part 2 of my holiday haul. So even though I'm in excruciating pain, there's still nothing that I want more than to play with my new makeup. So I'm also missing a nail. It's off to a great start. Great start. If you guys want to hang out while I test out some new makeup, then just keep on watching. So I'm just going to err on the side of guessing that if you're here watching part 2, you've already seen part 1, so you've heard all of my explanations of everything that I have. If you haven't, I will have part 1 linked up in the eye and down below for you guys. I'm just going to dive in. I'm going to jump in. I also have the gardeners out front, and I also have approximately 87,000 other things to do today, so my coffee also hasn't really kicked in yet. We're just going to power through. Anyways, in my purchasing, I did also get like a free gift with purchase, like an Ulta. It was actually this bag right here that came with a bunch of little Ulta deluxe sample sizes and minis and things like that. So I'm gonna try out the Ulta tinted eye primer. I've used the Ulta matte eye primer. I've used multiple of them. I actually just recently decluttered it because I don't know, it was never really quite right. Maybe this one will be better because it's tinted. The other one, it was just like very drying on my lids. I mean, so far so good. Honestly, the true sign for this one is going to be whether or not it gets funky with foundation like around my brows. I mean, realistically, an eye primer is an eye primer. So, I mean, it looks fine. It's very smoothing looking now that I've put a little powder on. Okay. I have 2 palettes again. The first palette is the Morphe Crowd Pleaser palette, which is going to be very similar to the other one, just different colors. But I saw these online and I was like, I have to. So, again, I'm not going to swatch everything. I'm just going to swatch 4 shades. So these are the kinds of shimmers that are made to either be used dry, like a little bit thinner and sheer, or wet. That is super fucking pretty though. And then, so I used it in yesterday's video, but I really wanted the ColourPop After Hours palette, and it was sold out on Ulta when I went to go do all of my purchasing. So I was like, maybe they have it on the ColourPop website, and I went on the ColourPop website. They did, and I was like, well, I can't just get one thing while I'm here. Okay. Can't just get one, obviously. And I have had my eye on this palette since it came out, and I just never pulled the trigger on it. But this is the ColourPop Matte About Hue palette, and it is the rainbow version of the Gone Matte palette, which is just, this is delicious looking, respectfully. I'm gonna again swatch 4 shades. I don't know why I started with my middle fingers. Now I'm going out of rainbow order. I'm just picking 4 at random to be honest. Oh, bitch. I don't even wear blues that often. Oh, my pants are rainbow now. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so obviously I'm going to be working off of using one of these 2 shimmers. So I'm going to play in both palettes. But I'm going to start out with a small-ish fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into Lil Iffy, which is that shade that I actually swatched. I'm not picking up a ton, but again, this isn't a tutorial. I'm just first impressioning. I mean, just based off of first impression, I love this shade, so I'm already happy with the Matte About You palette. I knew that I would be. It's been a very, very long time since the ColourPop palette has done me wrong. And then I'm going to take a slightly larger brush, and I'm going to go up to Dream Girl. I mean, it's blending like a fucking dream. The worst part about the fact that I'm in pain today is that I have to go run an errand that involves me driving for like an hour. 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. And then I'm gonna grab a really small blending brush and I'm gonna actually dip into this shade right here, Total Empath. And I'm just going to really deepen up my like very inner and outer corner. And I'll go back and blend this with the brush that I used with Lil Iffy. I'm not gonna pick up any more product though. And last but not least for the mattes, I'm gonna take this big fluffy brush and I'm gonna go into the lightest pink in Mad About You Crazy Cool and just run this over the very top edge. Didn't really need it, but... And then because I didn't try these wet yesterday, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna grab a little flat brush and I'm gonna load up the top shade Pushover. Spray this away from my coffee. Ooh. I mean, you can do this with like literally any shimmer shadow, but I know that some shimmer shadows, which like this baked type of formula is better suited for getting it wet. It reminds me, not in tone, but like in style, of this little 3 shadow thing that I used to get from the drugstore. I'm pretty sure it was Physicians Formula. It was 3 little baked eyeshadows and they were all shimmer, which means I had no business applying it the way that I did apply it. But it was a silver, a gray, and a black. And I used to just like dip my brush into liquid, or if I used to do my makeup like out on the go, I would just lick the fucking brush because that was nasty. I'm not gonna get it wet, but I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the 100 shade just to use on the edges, the outer edges. But yeah, I used to just like get that brush wet and I would just silver, gray, black. Oh, to be a fucking scene kid in the 2000s. Just a cutie little halo. Okay. I am obsessed. I'm gonna go put on a little wing, get my face ready to do my base because I do have a whole base. I'll be right back. Okay, so I just sprayed my face with some spray. I mentioned this in the last video, in part 1, that I kind of unintentionally bought a ton of like pore smoothing blurring primers, which was not the intention, but I did it anyway. I have here the Iconic London Velvet Smooth Pore Refining Primer. Now, if you have been watching my channel for a while, you would know that the Iconic London Underglow Primer is hands down one of my absolute favorite primers. So I was like, well, we should try another one, obviously. Okay, so I'm dry enough. Oh, this comes out in a little, it's because the hole's really tiny. Okay. Right out the gate, this one is definitely more mattifying than the Huda one. It still feels creamy and it doesn't feel like drying or anything, but you can see the difference between like down here versus my forehead where you can just see the SPF. Do a little bit more for my forehead. Feels really weird doing this entirely with my left hand. I don't know why I haven't just put down the bottle, but I'm a little concerned because there's pilling happening on my hand, but I know there's pilling happening down here. But I noticed that even with just my SPF, like in areas where it gets a little bit like thinner, it will kind of pill a little bit. But then once I blend everything and set it all down, it looks fine. So yes, this is definitely much more mattifying than the Huda one. Definitely much more mattifying than Underglow, but it does look pretty like smoothing. Okay, and then this was actually my birthday gift from Ulta, which is fucking full size, which is insane. This is the Live Tinted Hue Glow. I thought this might be fun to try, kind of like similar to like how I use the e.l.f. Halo Glow, which is more like an under eye primer. I have already swatched this, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It is definitely a little bit more oily and very shiny in comparison to who, ow, 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 ow. Why am I not using the one finger that doesn't have, I also grabbed a brush. I could have just used a brush. Okay, see, that looks ridiculous up against the blurring primer. I've now like added a bunch of shine, but it feels super hydrating, which I feel like will be really nice for my under eyes. Okay, I gotta turn this heat pack off for a little while. I'm fucking cooking now. I have lobstered myself. Okay. Well, I didn't use the brush. Okay, really quick, let me go put on a little bit of spot concealing and under eye corrector. I will be right back. Okay, which, first of all, just want to point out, the spot concealer that I've been using is actually like a very glowy one, and it is looking rather matte, which is wild. Peeling situation. Okay, new foundation. Once again, didn't swatch. Don't know how this is gonna look on my skin. I didn't plan that far in advance. So what I have here is the Morphe Light Form Extended Hydration Foundation. I have the shade Light 5N, which looks like it could be good. Looks like it could be a good match. Weightless long-wearing formula floats to diffuse imperfections instantly with undetectable buildable medium coverage. Work while Hydro Relief Complex works to improve and maintain skin moisture, balance, and barrier function over time. Clinically proven to hydrate for up to 16 hours. Lightform leaves skin with a lasting natural radiance that glows from within. Give it a shot. So it's super thin. Might be a touch too yellow, but whoa, super thin. Super, super, super thin. Okay. Oh, I got some under my nail. Okay. We're gonna start with a sponge. This looks like it's almost the exact same shade as the Huda one. Correct tonally, but like a smidge too yellow. It's blending out nice though. Here's the thing, I can correct this slight yellowness with powder foundations easily. But again, same thing I said with the Huda one, it's all gonna depend on how it oxidizes or if it oxidizes. I could probably take it to a different shade, but I tend to like still try a foundation even if I'm not 100% sure that it's the correct shade before I go, like, okay, unless I open the container and I'm like, oh, you are immediately, like I can immediately tell just by like looking at the bottle, you are not gonna work. But if I have to swatch a foundation, I will try it before I exchange it, because I don't want to exchange it, get a new one, then try it, then find out I don't like it, and then now I've caused even more trash, you know? So this feels really good on my skin. It actually looks really good too. It feels good. Like it's not heavy. It looks good. Again, the shade's a little bit off, but it's not so off that I can't correct it. I'm gonna put on some concealer really quick because I do actually have one cream bronzer to try. So I used a slightly lighter concealer and it actually evened it out almost perfectly. So there's that. Okay, I have here the Stila Blush and Bronze Hydro Blur Cheek Duo. I have, it comes in apricot and golden. So I have a blush and a bronze. Little stick situation. This reminds me a lot of the NYX ones. So that's how much product comes in it. So not like a crazy amount. I still have foundation underneath one of my nails. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. I'm not sure how creamy. I don't like how loose that is in there. Okay, that's super creamy. I could draw this straight on. I mean, it's nice how small this is because it makes doing like my nose very easy, but I do feel like I will probably end up blowing through this very quickly unless I just use it for that and do a different bronzer on like my forehead. Is it just me or does that feel very sheer? And it definitely did pick up a little bit of the foundation, but still that feels very sheer. I'm gonna take my Blur Puff. Okay, so not the greatest for drawing straight on. It is kind of sticking. It's all right, definitely sheer, like definitely super light. And I once again have two different cream blushes, But considering how sheer the bronzer is, I'm actually going to start out with this Stila one, and then I'll put the other one kind of over top of it probably. My immediate first impression on this is that I don't know that it's worth the price. It's pretty, don't get me wrong. It's not like so bad that I like immediately gonna go return it. But with that being said, I don't think that this is ultimately gonna be worth the price. I'm feeling like it's so sheer that I'm gonna end up blowing through it really quickly. It's also just now dawning on me that it's called Hydro Blur, which means of course it's gonna dry down a little bit quicker because it's blurring, so it's gonna have a little bit of a mattifying quality to it. Again, I don't really dip into liquid blushes all that often, but also this packaging is so fucking cute. This is the About Face Blush Rush in the shade Starting Line. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did yesterday with the ColourPop one. I'm actually gonna do 2 dots here, and then I'm just gonna blend it in with a brush. It's obviously not gonna be super, you're not gonna be able to see 100% how pigmented it is because I do have that Stila one underneath, but we'll be able to tell if it like picks up any product underneath it or anything like that. And it's pretty. It's already like prettier than this side. It does blend out very easily, which is nice. Okay, didn't pick up anything underneath it. Looks cute. Foundation looks nice as well right now. I don't have any setting powders to try today, so I'm gonna go set down my face and I will be right back. Okay, listen, I kind of fucked up on my... I have to sneeze. Anyways, I kind of fucked up on my powder foundation choice. I accidentally picked one that's very yellow, and by the time I realized what I was doing, that ship had fucking sailed, so I am back to being rather yellow. It is what it is. I also accidentally took that powder foundation just straight up over that blush. Quick close-up view though, the powder foundation, the foundation, and the primer are sitting very nicely. I do look very smoothed in this area right here, which is nice. Anyways, if you saw my part 1 video, you heard about how I was down to like just a very, very tiny amount of powder contour, which I love using in the fall and the winter. And then I accidentally dropped it and it broke, but I also needed a new one anyway because that one was discontinued, not BDS safe, and it was also running out. But I dropped it, it broke, and so I had bought a couple different products to use as powder contours. Powder contour just apparently just like straight up doesn't exist right now. Like it's very hard to find like a good gray cool toned powder contour. The one that I tried yesterday was straight up a fucking bronzer. Like it was warm toned, even though that one was legitimately labeled powder contour. So that's frustrating. With that being said, I also picked up and again, this looks very cool warm toned on camera. It looks much cooler in person. This is the Makeup Revolution Mega Bronzer in Cool. So we're gonna try it. If this one doesn't work as a bronzer, I probably will just try it as an actual bronzer. If this one doesn't work as a contour, I'll try it as an actual bronzer. Okay, we're already looking cooler than we did yesterday. But I think regardless, I may still be on the hunt. I don't know. Or I may just be out of contour until those like come back in style. I know someone had commented a long time ago of one that I should try. It's from the same blush line that I like, the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush, and they have a contour shade in that line. I think it's only available on Amazon though, so I may just pick that up. Or maybe it was just through their website. If it's just through their website, then I'm going to be honest with you, I probably won't pick it up because that's just like, I'm not going to order just a blush directly from a website and have to pay shipping and all of that. Okay, this is already looking much cooler than yesterday's. Let's see how it looks on the cheeks though. See, I don't need it to be like gray, you know? I just would like it to be more shadow than warm. This is actually looking very promising. Is it? You guys tell me. I will say I don't think that I would like this as a traditional bronzer. I think it might be too cool for that. But is it too warm to be a contour is the question. We'll keep trying it. We'll see. I'm not mad about it right now. Okay, and then same thing I also talked about yesterday. I really loved my Milani baked bronzer in Dolce, which is kind of like that baked marbly one. And I was running out, so I wanted to try a couple different ones. This is also very pretty. Still very glowy though. It's probably going to be pretty, but probably still not going to be a very good winter bronzer. But we're going to try it. This is much more powdery than the other two. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. If I had known how pigmented this was, I wouldn't have left my bronzer unset on my face. That is very glowy. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think it's bad per se. I think I just, first of all, would definitely need to set down the cream bronzer, or at least just have a powder layer in there. And again, probably not use this during the winter because she's very glowy. We're gonna fucking send it though. I do really like the tone of it, so there's that. I just wasn't prepared for the glow. The funny thing is that I say like, oh, it's not gonna be like a winter bronzer, but I still have to try it enough times to do like a speed reviews on it. So it's gonna be a winter bronzer for a little while. I'm just gonna clean everything up with my velour puff that I used to set my face. Stamp whatever's left on this, just to kind of soften it a little bit. Truth be told, I'm not mad about that other one. The Makeup Revolution one is a contour though. And then for powder blush, I have the Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush in Peach Primrose. This is actually not technically new to me. I used to have this exact blush years ago. Years and years and years ago. It's fucking stunning. My literal only complaint about these is that every single one of these that I've had, the packaging breaks. One thing I will say that I do really like about the Ulta baked bronzer is that it's a flat package, so I can stack things on top of it. I couldn't do that with the Milani one. Okay, and then last but not least, before I go away to finish everything but my lips, I have here the ColourPop Pressed Powder Highlight. This is in the shade Boombox. If you've been following my channel for a long time, I have been on a permanent hunt to find a replacement for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Glow Kit in the shade, it's the orangey one, the peachy orangey one. Thought I'd give this a shot. I will say it's definitely more gold than peach, but it still looks really pretty. I'll do my under eyes off camera as well. Do I think that this is going to be like the most revolutionary highlight I've ever used in my life? No. But it's probably pretty. It is pretty. It's very soft. Very, very soft and like subtle, which is okay. That's kind of been the vibe that I've been going for lately. I'm going to not put it above my brow bone. I am shiny enough up here as it is. But yeah, it's very, very subtle. I could always, you know, amp it up by spraying setting spray on my face, letting it most of the way dry, and then putting it on, but I fuck with a subtle highlight too. It's pretty. It's very, very pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my face, get dressed, do something with my hair, look a little bit more presentable. I'm jumping back on for two things really quick. I just wanted to take it simple for my lower lash line, so I actually just grabbed this palette and grabbed Warm Welcome, and I just wanted to show this to you guys because this color is gorgeous and it's applying so beautifully. I'll probably just take that lighter pink shade and just blend it out, or lighter pink shade from, what the fuck just happened right there, from the Mad About You palette, and just blend it out. But I just wanted, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it off camera, and then I immediately get back on camera. Let's just finish this up really quick, shall we? I'm gonna grab Mad About You and the Crazy Cool shade. Soften this up a little bit more. No, I wanted to come back because I want to try one of the other lip plumpers really quick. Because I kind of went back and forth last night. I was thinking about it and I was like, do I want to open the other lip plumpers and then, but not like, if I like them all, then I'm going to have all these lip plumpers out and will I get them done? Like, will I use them all in time? But then I was like, I also don't really want to wait and then end up having one of them just be awful and then I can't return it because I waited so long. Okay, so I have here the Milani Keep It Full Max Balm Shell Plumping Lip Balm. And this is like, it's like a very clear pink. It smells good. I want to look something up really quick about this because I can't tell if it's hot or cold. It be tingling, but I can't tell if it's hot or cold. It says menthone in it, so it's definitely cold. Out the gate, I like this one more than Makeup Revolution Pout Bomb, but I didn't dislike that one so much that I'd return it. Anyways, now I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my makeup. I'll be right back. So, time for some lip products. I don't have a ton left in here, actually. I truly do not know if I'm gonna be able to get this open. My husband opened it for me, the other one of this exact same one for me yesterday, and it took him like 10 minutes and a knife. I don't have 10 minutes or a knife, but I do have determination. I need to like deeply understand why any makeup company would think that this is like the appropriate way, ow, fuck, to do this. Bucket. I just cut it at the cap. Ah, my cap. I also hate when that happens. Oh my god. Okay. Those are the same color, so I'm just going to use one. And I've already tried the About Face lip liner, or the AF94 lip liner yesterday. So now I'm going to try the Makeup Revolution Pout Liner Plumping Lip Liner. This is in the shade Warm Peach. By the way, that Milani Bombshell Keep It Full whatever plumping lip balm, phenomenal. My lips look and feel so good. Okay, so this is creamy, but it's not like so creamy that it's overwhelming. I'm not used to immediately lining with such a deep shade. I usually do something closer to my skin tone, hence why I'm struggling a little bit. Definitely does have a little bit of a tingle to it. Okay, so I pulled out two to try. Okay, this is the Ulta Beauty. I think it's just their regular lipstick in shade 384, whatever the fuck that is. It's a pretty nude shade. Oh, that is light. Immediately no. Immediately no. Immediately no. And not just because it's up against a darker lipstick, a lip liner. I actually think that's saving it a little bit. It feels almost like chalky. The shade wasn't working. It was just an immediate no. Okay, I have here, this is probably going to be better tone anyways. This is the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in Sugar Cookie. That's much better. Oh, I never sat down my face. The base looks very good. Pretty comparable to yesterday's base, honestly. Still, as you can see, a touch too yellow, but I mean, it is what it is. I can just take whatever's left of that concealer and just kind of blend it together. The powder foundation is obviously also a little bit too yellow, but that was my own mistake and not a fault of the product. But overall, I am pleased. I am actually very pleased. So far, so good. I've only had one immediately no, and then one like, I'm gonna return it now that I have something else to return, you know? So, not too bad, actually. But that is going to wrap up today's video. I have one more part. one more part. It's coming soon. So comment down below and tell me about a product that you have purchased recently that you love. I would love to hear all about it. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.